Hello and welcome. You join me once again at Teamsport Nottingham for another members night. Tonight we're doing the Tin Tops format, which is a 5-minute qualifying followed by a 10-minute sprint race and then a 25-minute normal race. Now hopefully this time I can be a bit better than last time for the wall, and then we go into turn 2 and I absolutely spin it like a twat. Nevertheless, now we are about to head out on track for our 5-minute qualifying as we do the moron test and get slightly stuck on the way out the pit lane, but nothing too bad. Now, to mention, after this session had finished, I did a 33, I think. I wasn't very happy with it, but then I got told that this kart was absolutely horrendous, so I got a bit unlucky there, and I think you'll see through this entire session just be over and under steering every 5 seconds. But regardless, we're about to head out now. We finished the light test, so this is our first flying lap of the session. As you can see, just not going very well, but nevertheless we are just oversteering and understeering. Not much you can really do here, but we move on to our next lap as we oversteer, lift off and then understeer again. It was very tricky in this thing to get a decent lap time in. We did in the end qualify P13 with my 33 lap time, which was not the worst, but also way off what I know I can do. But there were 16 members tonight for this race, so quite a big grid, which made some good racing, which you'll see shortly. But nevertheless, we're about to head on to another hot lap as we go into turns 1 through to 4, as again it's just very oversteery. You cannot get the power down in this kart for some reason. I'm not sure why. I mean, even the other ones that are a bit oversteery, it was never this bad. But nevertheless, we keep cracking on. We will work with what we've got and do our best with what we've got. As you can see me just slide into the wall again. We come into the last corner now. I think this was one of my faster laps. So you rejoin me at turn 4 as I get a horrendous entry and exit, and I just decided to let the car behind me pass. Probably would have been more strategic just to keep him behind me and defend against him so he couldn't get a faster time than me, but oh well, I thought I'd be nice today. But nevertheless, we then go into turn 6, I think that is, and I leave the door open and he just sends it on the inside. I was trying a bit of a new braking point and new lines still through that corner to try and figure out what felt fastest, but regardless, obviously not that, clearly. But we can now use the kart in front for slipstream, which is nice. And now you rejoin me as we cross the line again. That was our final lap of the session as we're about to go on to yellow flags to signify the end of our qualifying here. There they are. So we're now going to waddle our way down to the pit lane and get ready for the sprint race. So you rejoin me now for the sprint race. We're just gridding up. We just did our moron test and we are about to enter our grid position, which unfortunately I may have overshot a little bit and they may or may not have noticed. So I get pushed back about 3 continents for the race start, but oh well, it is what it is. Regardless, the lights are on now and it's 5 red lights and away we go. Car in front of me gets a horrific start, so that's a position gain straight away as we go into turn 1. Bit chaotic, people smashing into each other left, right and centre. Managed to get pushed into a position where I can be on alongside the car on the inside of me now into this corner going up the incline. We are currently 2 wide going down the decline. Luckily I get just past enough so I can close the door legally as we now head down into my dreaded corner where I'm absolutely horrendous, but not too bad this time as I managed to get right up the top of kart 36 in front of me. As we head into the last corner, you can just see poor exit, just poor throttle control. This kart was, it was slightly interesting. It was a lot better than the qualifying kart, don't get me wrong, but it felt like it either had a flat spot or a bent rear axle, and then you'll see shortly just the kart's pulling away from me on the straights. It was like it was in a completely different power mode compared to any other kart, or it was low on battery or something, I'm not sure. It sorted itself out towards the end. It regained all its power. I'm not really sure what happened. But regardless, we're about to head back into the last corner here. Taking it nice and tight. Gaining some time on him there. But again, the second we go out onto the straight, he just starts to pull away a little bit more. My advantage disappears once again. As we go into turn 4 again, taking that nice and neatly right up his chuff again, and he just starts to pull away again. It's like the car was in limp mode. You can hear me say there, no power. I wasn't wrong. It was not ideal, but nevertheless we work with what we've got. I'm going to try and keep at him on the corners as I then take that one absolutely horrifically. But yeah, we go back into turn 1 now. Trying to keep it as tight as I can. Bit of understeer that time, but not too bad. I'd rather have understeer than oversteer in these karts in this track. But yeah, we go up the incline now. It was a bit poor from me there. We go down the decline, he just pulls away again. That one may slightly be because of my exit, but I also don't think the lack of power was helping much here this time. But nevertheless, we're about to head into the last corner again. Nice and tight through there. Gain again on the kart in front, but then as we start to pull it, start to put the power down, he just absolutely disappears. So there's not really much I could do at this point of the race in terms of pace. The second you get a straight bit of track, all the progress you make on a corner is just completely gone. So we now go past the start-finish line. Once again, you can see the karts in front having a little bit of a squabble. It's kind of hoping that'll be my opportunity to catch up and join in and try and utilise the fighting in front of me, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Now you rejoin me with a bit of defensive play here from the kart behind. Just trying to stay as central as possible. You can just see the front end a little bit there, side by side, as we go into turn 1 now. Through turn 4, just taking it really centrally, just to make sure you can't get any advantage on me at all. Park it a little bit on the apex to make sure I get a better exit, and we were away. And you now rejoin me again for a bit more defensive play. You can see the car actually handling quite well at this phase in the race. Still a bit low on power, but what can you do? Just got to defend like a lion, as Alonso would say, with my GP2 engine. But nevertheless, we go up the incline now, just trying to make sure I'm closing off all the gaps possible as we go into my favourite corner where I can't drive. Got a driver behind me shouting on your inside. He does get round. Obviously, it was half a kart's whip, so I respect it and let him by. But nevertheless, we are now on his arse trying to get that position back, because I know I'm faster than this guy in front of me. So I need to now focus and get my head down and work with what I've got as we go into the turn 4 up to the incline. Try and go up the inside there. Not enough acceleration to make it stick, as we are now going down into my favourite corner where I just repeat the move on him and take him up the inside. Now we will go and try and defend the position, which we do quite successfully, as we now cut to where my kart had a lot more power once again, and we're able to chase the kart in front of me finally. The kart felt good, quite a bit off the pace compared to my kart in the 25-minute race, but regardless, it still felt a lot better than the qualifying kart, so I cannot complain. But we're now pushing on to the kart in front to see if we can just get to him before the checkered flag, which unfortunately we don't, as that marks the end of the sprint session. And now you can see here how bouncy the kart is. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was the rear axle that was bent or if it was the flat spot on the tyres or something, because another driver did complain about a flat spot. But nevertheless, we're now jumping into the 25-minute race. We do our moron test and then begin to grid up here. So we did gain 2 positions in that race, which puts us up to P11 now for this race. So we are about to go to the lights here, as it is now 5 red lights. And away we go once again. Kart in front of me gets a decent start this time, but kart on the inside doesn't really. So that's a position gained straight away as we then go very bumpy through that corner. As we go into turn 4, just a concertina effect, and I get T-boned there. It wasn't very comfortable, but oh well, it is what it is. We lost this position there, so we're back down to 10th now. We was 9th very briefly until that accident. And now we move on to the yellow flag of this race. A car behind has crashed in some sort of way. But nevertheless, we're now right up the chuff of this car in front of us once again as we go green and go back racing. As we go into my favourite corner. I'm going to have to come up with a nickname for this corner, as we now go into turn 1 once again. Just looking to make sure I get a better exit as we go into turn 4. Try and go for the move. Do hit him a bit there because I had to steer into him. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough front end to grip up where I needed to. Did apologise to him, and we moved on as he then starts to just disappear away from me. He had a very good average pace, and he was doing, I think his fastest lap was a 32.4, where mine was a 32.7. So fair play to the guy in front of me. Definitely deserved the position. Probably deserves some more, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. As we now go into turn 4 again, you can just see I'm oversteering all over the place. This car didn't have much rear end. We now move quite a few laps forward. We come around the last corner, go down the start from this straight as we go into turns 1 to 4. We are now gaining on a car in front of me. At this point, I didn't know if this was position or if it was a back marker. Turns out it was a back marker. So unfortunately that is not a position gained, but we now move another lap forward as we are getting closer and closer to the car in front of us. Certainly not a slow driver. I did speak to this driver after a bit. I think he had the car I had in the sprint race because he was complaining of a flat spot as well, and I don't think there'll be 2 cars with it, surely, with the level of prep that goes on here. But nevertheless, he is trying to get some good laps in for BIKC. As we go into the last corner, he does see me, and he lets me go past to try and follow my lines just to try and get into a decent 32 time. I believe he gets a 32.8, which is only a tenth off what I was doing, so it's not bad, and that should hopefully do quite well for him in the qualifiers. But now, nevertheless, we are about to approach, I believe, the last lap here. Yeah, here's the checkered flag. That brings an end to our day here at Nottingham. Quite a bit of improvement made by me. It's definitely a lot of positives to take, not many negatives for once. Definitely still a lot to learn in terms of driving this track. It's like trying to learn a completely different driving style compared to when I'm at Lincoln, where there's a lot more grip on the surface. Regardless of that, I'm very happy with the result today. We did finish in P10 in the end, so very good result, especially against the members that come here every week, so I'm very happy with that. But nevertheless, thank you very much for watching. If you did like this video, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and please share this video around if you feel like it, because it helps me massively. So thank you very much, and I promise I will get a GoPro one day. Anyway, goodbye.